Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Save your most important documents and photos in the cloud. A Microsoft 365 subscription gives you a full terabyte of secure OneDrive storage, plus an added layer of protection with OneDrive Personal Vault. Buy now at Microsoft365.com/photos.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. What is going on? Today, you're tuning in to the Cigars with Mac podcast. I'm so happy right now because, as I stated earlier in a previous podcast, a couple of podcasts before, I expounded on how I would be creating a website and really taking this podcast to the next level. Let me first and foremost say that I am very grateful for the Anchor podcast because I enjoy the sound quality, I enjoy the usability, I enjoy the background music. Tell you, I was just sitting here thinking to myself, I understand that Rome was not built overnight. This podcast is going to take time. It will take money. It will take creativity. And it's going to take patience. At this stage in my life, I have a thing called patience. I have a thing called understanding the bigger goal at hand. It is my goal here at the Cigars with Mac podcast to provide meaningful content, to make someone's day a bit better, to give you something to drive to work to give you something to listen to on the way from work to home. It is my job to, if I can give insights on life, on finances, which are things that I know about, I will definitely love to do that for you. Because podcasting right now is fun to me. And within that fun, I've actually made a little money off of it. Not a lot. Like I said, not a lot. But to be able to profit off of something that you enjoy doing, that is a blessing. Today I'm smoking a Tabacalera Edición Especial. This is a great smoke. It's called a 5-star. You dig? I just call it the 5-star. But this is something that I really enjoy doing. I mean, if I'm able to make a successful career off of it one day, that's even better. But I really enjoy meaningful conversation. I enjoy thought-provoking conversation. I enjoy those kind of things. I do. I've always enjoyed that. I enjoy it because it gives an individual the ability to grow in life. I enjoy it because conversation is something that many people feel is a lost art. People feel like everything is lost in text messages, IMs, emails. There isn't a lot of human interaction. That's what people feel is going on this day and time. You know, you have social media, you have smart TV, smartphones, iPads, Alexas. What's the other one? I forgot. Anyway, our society nowadays is so technologically influenced. And it really is inevitable, you know? I mean, I'm 33, but can some of y'all remember watching the Jetsons as a kid? Because some of y'all remember that? I know I do. I like the Jetsons. But damn near everything they had on there is now coming to reality. You know? But what I find, most entertaining is that technology is only going to grow. It's only going to increase. It's not going to decrease. So I definitely feel that we as a people, Homo sapiens, human beings, whatever you want to call us, we will conform eventually, you know. I had an argument. I remember it was a couple years ago. I had an argument with an older brother. He was telling me how he didn't have internet at the home. I said, "What kind of phone do you have? A smartphone?" I said, "Everybody has internet, sir. That phone has internet on it." You know, we got into a little argument about that. You know, he's trying to, sir, you can't fight the inevitable. Internet is all around us. Believe that. The internet is all around us, sir. But anyway, that's my little rant. Today I was on Instagram and a comedian by the name of Luenell, she got on her Instagram live and she was telling black and brown people that we're always the ones getting killed and that we should become revolutionized. And then she also stated that she can't be revolutionary because of her position. Well, Luenell, what makes you think other people can be revolutionaries? What makes you think that other people can put their livelihood at stake, their families at stake? And don't get me wrong, there's been a few issues within the media. You know, black men getting killed by police officers, by citizens taking things into their own hand. And here at this podcast, we don't agree with that. We don't agree with people. You know, we are, you know, we believe in justice. But I'm not going to speak on those issues because I really haven't done the research. I'm going to speak on celebrities trying to deal with social issues, celebrities trying to enact the people to risk their lives. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I feel a lot of celebrities aren't really that wealthy as we think they are. And I'm not counting anybody's pocketbook at all, but this is just from my observation. Because I understand that someday on this podcast, there will be celebrities, and some of my old some of my old podcasts will be played back. So what I'm saying is not to attack anyone. It's just my opinion. And I'm going to be very respectful about it. But I have a problem when I find celebrities, especially, and I only see it in the black community, which is my community, the African American community. I see that whenever blacks are getting innocently killed, there's always a black celebrity, a black rapper slash revolutionist trying to get some black person to take revenge on the black person that was killed. And I understand their point of view. I do. I understand the anger behind it. I understand the rage behind that innocent people are getting killed. I understand that. I'm not numb to those type of things. But what I don't agree with is someone telling you to do something that they're not going to do. They're telling you to go and avenge that person's death, yet they don't say, whoever avenges this person's death, I will give your family $1 million and, allow them to take care of you while you're incarcerated for the rest of your life. I don't hear that. I don't hear that. Because believe it or not, these celebrities are not going to risk their livelihood. I mean, I even heard Linnell say somebody needs to revolt, but she can't do it because of the position she in. But she does have the platform to just speak on it. After a while, you got to stop talking and just do, man. You got to stop the talking. This talking has got to stop. It just does. You got to stop talking about what you're going to do and crying and, people need to have love and there needs to be more love and people need to stand up. Black men need to take their rightful place and protect the black community. But if a black man would go out and avenge that person's death, they'd be in prison for the rest of their lives. I mean, honestly, who wants to be in prison, guys? Nobody wants to do that. That's not fair. So that person has to risk their livelihood, their career, their family, their children, and risk their life to avenge another African American's untimely and disrespectful demise. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. The solution to this, I don't have one. Because there are many solutions to this. There are many ways to get justice. I was looking on Facebook and the two white men that shot the young black male riding his bike. Running. Correct. I'm sorry about that. That's why this is the Cigar with Mac podcast. Man, I'm just freestyling. The more I do this, the better I'll get at it. Anyway, their address was put on the internet. The internet was in an uproar for the young man in Georgia. And they are allegedly in custody right now. I don't know, because remember, this is not a news podcast. It's just not. Because news changes every minute. It's always some kind of update. And I think I understand that talking about news, that's not my lane. That's not my lane at all. There are enough people doing that I don't have to touch that issue, and it's not something that I really desire to do. I enjoy talking about finances, technology, social issues, relationships, dating, marriage. I enjoy talking about those things because to me, those things are tangible. Those things are real. The media is so tainted. It can, like I said before, news changes by the second. So it's hard to figure out sometimes what's true, what's not true. So that's why that's not my lane. My lane is cigars, smoking cigars. I don't really drink alcohol anymore. But that's my lane, cigars. I can talk about cigars all day long. I could talk about issues all day long. I could talk about intellectual subjects all day long because that's something that I know. I read a lot about it and I lived it. That's why I was telling y'all before about theory. Theory is one thing, but actual practice is a completely different thing. I spent the majority of my college tenure online. But by the assignments and the way the professors presented it, I could tell who a professor was. I could tell by their, not only by their syllabus, but how they presented information and how they wanted assignments done, whether they actually were in the field or they just taught things. I could tell, some of the best professors are the ones that actually do the job, live the job, and they also can teach it. Those are some of the best professors. And then you have those professors that just went to school, got their PhD. Yeah, they do research, but research is one thing, but actually doing is something else. Some people you'll find at the university level, for instance, with business, they can teach business, but some of these guys have never written out a business plan. They can teach you how to write a business plan, but they've never actually done it for themselves, but they can teach the hell out of it. I remember when I was in the Army, we had a chaplain assistant. I'm not going to say his name because one, I don't remember, and two, I don't want any problems. But anyway, this guy was a virgin. Yet he was trying to tell people about protecting themselves during sex and things of that nature and practice safe sex. But guy, you've never had sex before. How can you really speak about that? I found it very entertaining. Me and my supervisor were texting each other and we were just laughing at this guy. I hope he's still not a virgin anymore, by the way. Anyway, I just feel that Linnell, and I can only speak on her because I heard her in my opinion, she probably didn't mean it that way, but in my opinion, I feel like she was trying to incite some people to go after the people that have been killing blacks unjustly. And Linnell, that's not right. If you ever listen to this podcast, that's not the right thing to do. Nothing wrong with talking about it. But my thing is, what are you going to do about it? I mean, seriously. I remember a time when there was a incident in Dallas, Texas, where an African-American female was pretty much got into it with the white guy, and the white guy, got the best of her. And T.I. made a video to black men in Dallas that they need to stand up. And I remember people telling T.I., no, T.I., you stand up. You go do it. You don't tell other people to do anything. You do it. You want me to risk my life and go to prison while you still in your mansion with your wife, your family? No. No. Not doing that. You do it. You know, I feel like celebrities really shouldn't, in my humble opinion, if they're not going to just actually do something, I feel like they need to choose their words very wisely. Because they hope that somebody will have the guts to go and kill that person that murdered the innocent African American. And that's not cool, man, because you're not risking your life. You want people to risk their lives. I was watching the show on YouTube, 4 celebrity African American women: Claudia Jordan, Vivica Fox, Lisa Ray, and the other young lady, I forgot her name. She was a singer at one time. And when I saw them, and I'm just like, wow, these women are really, excuse my French, they're not really that popular anymore. And I know that just because of the views off of YouTube on that particular channel. And it is my opinion that every celebrity is not a multi-millionaire. And it was apparent with these women. See, what people have to understand is that most celebrities are just average people, man. A lot of them are not really millionaires like that. And I'm not saying these women aren't, but from my view of them, they're just average people, average women. They're trying to put up these airs like they're all that, and they're really not. And I think people get so starstruck by celebrities that they forget that, man, these are people just like you and me. And I simply believe that with the integration of social media in our society, we really get to see how these so-called celebrities really are. I remember there was a time when I was a kid, I can remember watching, Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Cosbys. And I never had a desire to know what these people's real lives were about. I don't want to see that. Fast forward a decade later, you have a lot of reality TV shows where we saw celebrities, and some of that is acting, but some of it's not. And I would like to know what would possess a person of that stature to go on live television and expose their lives. And there's obviously a niche for it, because if you go on their, especially their Instagram and Facebooks and all their different social media platforms, they have millions of followers. Someone in the industry knew that this would explode and it would allow people to, they could reach them at a more personal level, but I don't really want to know them at that personal level. It's kind of like going to church. I only want to know the pastor at church. I don't want to know what he does outside of church. I don't care. I don't want to know what their habits are. I don't want to know that stuff because I understand that they're humans and humans make mistakes. Because whenever you see people and you put them in such a high regard and they fail you, now you're in the realm of, let's be frankly honest, you're judging them. And there's nothing wrong with judging, but sometimes people feel that, hey, they're a pastor, they're a minister, they're an imam, they're a rabbi. Well, not a rabbi, but they are religious. And I can only speak from the Christian standpoint, so let me stay there. And when you see that other side of them, it lets you down. When you see that pastor, that famous pastor, cheat on his wife, you know? And my thing I've noticed is that black people in America are very forgiving. But then, like I said before, you see that side of them and you look at them a little differently. And there's a reason behind that because they're human. And this goes back to what I was saying about celebrities. You know, people are on their IG lives, asking questions. They're doing actual interviews with them. And to be honest, man, as far as, you know, them being my favorite actor or actress, I have no desire to dab into your personal life. I don't care about that. I have no desire to do that because I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Because sometimes when you know some things about some people, it can change your opinion of them. It can. And that's not always a good thing. One thing about this podcasting is you have to keep your mouth and you have to keep you have to keep liquids near you because your mouth will get dry. Luckily, I drink a lot of water anyway, so it don't bother me. But you'll find that sometimes you see like for instance, people love Cardi B. But when she told people what she did and the negative aspects of her life, some people had no problem with it, but some people probably did. Some people were like, whoa, man, I didn't know you had to do that to get to the top. You know, some things you just don't, and I'm just going to speak for me. Some things you just don't want to know about people. At least I don't. It's not my place. Now, as long as you're not causing harm to children, then or harming other people negatively, what you do behind closed doors is not my business. Let me put a star by that, because I'm not saying I don't care, but if you're beating your children, you and your spouse are fighting, you're stealing from people, then I have a problem with that. But if what you're doing is not harming people, I don't have a problem with that. It's not my place to judge you on that. It's just not. But what I find I'm even finding out now that a few celebrities are on OnlyFans. And when I say celebrities, I don't just mean actors. I mean rappers, singers. I mean all that. They're on OnlyFans selling their bodies virtually for money. Which goes back to show that a lot of these celebrities, they're just normal people, man. A lot of them are not really financially successful. They're not as financially successful as people think they are. And I've always known that because they're human, man. You know, those movies, you know, unless you're a real box office seller, a real music hit maker, a Grammy, all that good stuff, and you can have all that and still not make money. I understand that. They're just human, people. Kind of like the word fan. When I learned the meaning of the word fan, I stopped using it because the word fan derives from the word fanatic. I'm not fanatic over people. I'm fanatic over things. I'm fanatic over being successful. Being a fanatic is not necessarily a bad thing also. Being obsessed with something is not necessarily a bad thing. Michael Jordan had to be obsessed with basketball to be one of the greatest. Muhammad Ali had to be obsessed with boxing to be one of the greatest. Get the point? So I said that to say this. Never put people in that high of a regard. They're people, they're human beings, they're subject to failure like anyone else. I just feel like, especially in America, we regard celebrities like godlike figures. Hence the word celebrity, celebrate. But anyway, that's another podcast. But I feel like we regard them very high. I even see people tagging Beyonce and all that when Beyonce doesn't even know you. She's not even thinking about you. No shade on Beyonce. I think about on my professional side of my life, people hit me up on LinkedIn, inbox me about stuff, and I try to get back with people as soon as possible because I want to let people know that no matter where I am professionally, I'm not that busy to where I can't talk to people. But most celebrities are not like that. They're just not. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like I said, I don't have anything against celebrities. I enjoy good music. I enjoy watching movies. One of my pastimes is watching movies. I love going to the movie theaters. I love it. I enjoy watching movies. It's very relaxing. And, you know, it's just great, man. I love it. But after I watch that movie, I understand that I got to go out to a real world. I understand that. I understand that for the most part, most movies are fiction. I understand that. I understand that the character that Denzel played on Training Day is not who he is in real life. I understand that. I get that. So my philosophy in life is I don't take people very seriously. I just don't. I stopped doing it a long time ago. Because I understand that people will fail you every time. I get that. It does not bother me that people will fail me because I will fail you. That's why I don't really have set days and times to do podcasts because things come up. I have to work in my career. I can't let my career slack. I have to do that. I enjoy what I do as a career. So that's why I don't set a day and time. I don't do that. You know, they say you should be more organized as a podcaster, write down show topics, show ideas. And I've had at least 2 show ideas to talk about, but I want to talk about celebrities being involved in social issues. I somewhat have a problem with that. That's why I made this podcast. I only want entertainers to do what they do, entertain. I don't want to know the revolutionary side of you. Because if you want to be revolutionary, You shouldn't have became an actor, an actress, a rapper, a musician, a singer, a songwriter. You shouldn't have done that. And I understand that through life, people's ideas change. The way I thought at 30, I don't think at 33. The way I thought at 25, I didn't think at 29. The way I thought at 17, I don't think that same way at 18, 19. So I understand that. That's why I don't hold it against them. I just believe that's a subject they should stay away from. But we live in a society where people just got to know what this celebrity, that celebrity thinks. And then when you hear it, it changes your whole thinking of them. A lot of times that's not good. It's kind of like when you work a job. You got an employee that has been kicking ass for a year. And then they get a new supervisor. And that supervisor bothers that employee a lot and then says that they're not good. And the thing I've learned with work ethic is that nobody goes from being high speed to being a shitbag overnight. A lot of times it's just people have their perception of you no matter what you do. A lot of times you may not mix well with that style of leadership. Like me, I'm a person that when I work for people, they have to pretty much be hands off with me because I don't need people micromanaging me or telling me what to do. Even when I was in the Army, the job I had was I pretty much worked by myself. You know, I teamed up with my colleagues at times, but pretty much I didn't have anybody on my back telling me what to do all day because the position I had to be self-reliant. I had to be responsible. I had to have a high level of integrity to get things done. So when I got out the military, it was hard for me to deal with leadership like that. And I pretty much will set them straight after a while that, hey, you don't have to babysit me. In fact, don't even do it because I'm going to rebel. And that's something, I know I'm talking about an array of different things, but that's something you got to understand as a leader in this world, especially when you're leading people in the workforce. People are going to rebel, I don't care what. You have to let people prove and show you what they can do. And as a leader, you have to be observant of those things. You have to be observant of behavior and the strengths and the weaknesses of your employees so you will know how to deal with them. It's like being a parent. I don't treat my sons the same. The way I deal with one son, I can't deal with the other son the same way because why? They're two different people. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier about celebrities, I can't take them serious when they're trying to be a revolutionist and a celebrity at the same time. It doesn't work. It's a complete contradictory, in my opinion now. I'm just saying my opinion because you got to understand, some of these celebrities work for, or if not work for, they're contracted with this brand, that brand, this organization. And sometimes the very organization that you are behind may secretly be supporting an organization that is uplifting behind the scenes now African Americans getting slaughtered. It's kind of like a double-edged sword sometimes. So my take is if you stay away from those type of issues, you don't have to worry about compromising yourself. You just don't. You don't have to worry about that. Kind of like when you are at a high level at an organization. You have to be very clean. You have to be very careful of your social media, because when you start talking about being a chief information officer, chief executive officer, when you start becoming a part of boards and things like that, where they're giving you 6-figure, 7-figure salaries, you have to be cognizant of your digital footprint. You have to be cognizant of what you tell people. You have to be very careful, because now you are a representative of that corporation. Got to be careful, guys. And that's why I'm looking at these celebrities like, hey, you're telling people to go do this, that, and the third to avenge that person's death, but you're not putting your life on the line. You're just not. One thing I learned about life is you got to pick a side. I know it sucks. I know it does. But you got to pick a side. Even if you have to change sides sometimes, where, you may think one way, or you may support one political party this time in your life, and then you may support an opposing party and later in your latter part of your life. You're going to have to pick a side. So that's how I feel about that, man. I just feel like celebrities should just kind of stay away from that. And people need to stop trying to. It's the people that make the change, not the celebrities. I'm telling you. The majority of things that have been changed socially were because of the people, not because of celebrities. It hasn't been. I'm telling you, I see it. It's the grassroots movement, the everyday people that change things in the world. They change things, people. Entertainers and actors do what they do. Entertain and act, sing and dance. Make you feel good. It's the everyday people that pay the majority of the taxes in this country. That's what you have to look at. That's what you have to look at. And I'm telling you guys, I want to just thank each and every person that downloads this podcast on whatever podcast platform you enjoy using. It makes me feel good that people listen to what I have to say. And you don't have to necessarily agree with it, which is fine. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. Also, if you need to reach me, contact me via email at info@cigarswithmacpod.com. info@cigarswithmacpod.com. If you'd like to be interviewed, hit me up at info@cigarswithmacpod.com or contact me at 682-241-7316. 682-241-7316, or email me at info@cigarswithmacpod.com. That's info@cigarsmacpod.com. This concludes the podcast for today. Thank you, and be blessed, people.
Skiing, riding, sledding, winter biking, winter hiking.
No matter how you Vermont, please Vermont safely.
Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowman building.
This year, that means a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test or a 14-day home quarantine with no symptoms to visit.
Snowball fighting, ice skating, ice climbing, ice fishing, ice cream eating.
So we can all Vermont safely this year.
Dining, craft beering.
Talk to your favorite Inner resort about smart travel suggestions, reservation policies, and the best way to Vermont this winter.
Hot cocoaing, antiquing, shopping, fireside napping.
For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit VermontVacation.com.
1, 2, 3, 4.
For everyone's safety, Vermont requires a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test or 14 days with no test to visit this winter.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
We're also recommending you take the time to do some extra squats, lunges, wall sits, or high knees.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
With reduced lift and lodge capacity, you're going to have a lot more time to spend on the slopes. So take the time to get your legs ready.
38, 39, 40.
Vermont in winter. It's worth the wait.
1, 2, 3.
This winter, plan your trip. Don't trip up your plans. Talk to your favorite inn or resort about smart travel suggestions and reservation policies. For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit VermontVacation.com.
16, 17.